Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming a guy who a lot of you kids who grew up in the late 80s like I did know. He hosted a game show on Nickelodeon called Think Fast, which only lasted like maybe a season. His name is Skip Lackey. He was the host of Think Fast on Nickelodeon, and he co-starred with Jim Carrey in the 1985 vampire cult classic comedy Once Bitten. And I love that movie. It's so damn funny. As bad as it is, it's so damn funny. He did that, and he also did a horror slash sci-fi movie called Mindbenders. And I'm going to have him on the show today to talk about all of that and how he got out of the business and what he's doing now and just find out like how the heck did he make two cult classic movies and then host the kids game show on Nickelodeon and then leave the business. It's just a very unique business model, I think. So I'm going to have him on the show and talk about all that stuff. It's been a long time coming. So yeah, here is my interview with Skip Lackey. Hey Skip.
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Sorry for all the back and forth with that. Your persistence is mind-boggling. You get kudos for your persistence.
Oh, I get plenty. I get plenty of kudos for that from lots of people. I tell you.
I bet you do. I bet you do. It was epic.
Oh, thank you. I've always been a
Yeah,
guy who has always known what I wanted, and I go after it.
I would say so. Yeah, that's a real. It's a skill, but it's also a wonderful trait to have.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you for taking the time today. Um, so going back to the beginning, was was acting something that was on your radar like early on?
For me, I was. About 15 when I thought I wanted to be an actor, and I had been doing some theater in the local town that I grew up in, which was Little Rock, Arkansas.
Hmm.
And when it was time to graduate from high school and go off to college, I ended up applying for something called Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Clown College,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, ended up getting accepted to that, and went to clown college right out of high school at 17, 18, and graduated from that, and then was offered a job with Ringling Brothers and did that for a year before I moved to New York to pursue my career as an actor. So, well, actually, I toured with the circus, and then before I ended up moving to New York, I auditioned for a touring Broadway show called Barnum, which was actually a musical about the life and times of P.T. Barnum, and Glenn Close was in it, Jim Dale, and
Hmm.
a number of other people that went on to have really good Broadway careers, and got a job in that at 19, and did that show for 3 years on the road.
Wow.
So yeah, I was very fortunate to be getting work right out of high school, pretty much.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great cast to be working with when it's your first big production.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Now, growing up in Arkansas, did you grow up on a farm?
No, I didn't. I grew up in Little Rock, which is it's a suburb of the capital of Little Rock. So I grew up in the suburbs, and yeah, didn't grow up on a farm. My father was actually from West Virginia, and he grew up in coal mining country. But we were close to the country, but it wasn't a traditional farm. No.
Yeah. So you do the production in New York, and you go on the road and stuff. When do you make it to L.A.?
Well, that was an interesting process because I was doing a lot of off Broadway and off Broadway musicals in New York. My desire was really to be in a Broadway show. That was my lifetime goal. And as part of what I was doing, I got an agent and started doing commercials and voiceovers for radio and television. And I did a ton of commercials. And one of the commercials I had done had gotten seen by a lot of people, and I inquiries in from David Lynch's people. He was interested in me for the lead in Blue Velvet at the time, and his casting director contacted me and spoke to me about that, and that project got put on hold. Steven Spielberg and Robert Zemeckis flew to New York, and they were looking for people for Back to the Future for the lead role that Michael Fox ended up doing, and I was the New York choice. There were 2 LA choices, a Chicago choice, and me, and they flew me to LA, and I screen tested for that. And I think some people know this, but most might not, that the actor Eric Stoltz, who had just finished doing Mask,
right,
was originally cast in that role, the Michael J. Fox role, and they were 10 weeks into filming, and they let him go because they felt he was being too serious, and the comedy and the cuteness of that film was not there. And ironically enough, I just moved to Los Angeles. I was going to be bi-coastal, and I was up for a role, which was the role Once Bitten that you contacted me about with Jim Carrey, and I was up for one of the roles in the movie, and they didn't get cast in it. And then when they came back and they were reshooting with Michael Fox, the irony of it is that the gentleman who'd gotten cast in the role that I ended up doing in Once Bitten had to do the reshoots of Back to the Future. We had to bow out of the project, and then they brought me back in and asked me to audition for that role, and then I got it. So it was kind of that whole Back to the Future reason was how I got that role with Jim in Once Bitten.
Crazy! Wow, yeah. Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time. Do you know what role you were gonna? Do you know what role you were gonna play in that?
Well, they had auditioned me to play the lead, to play Marty, and they had seen this commercial that I had done, and it was playing on every week on Sunday Football, and it was a Campbell Soup spot where I was doing this one spot where I was talking to this cop sitting at a kind of like a diner, the bar up at a diner. So it was me and the cop, and it was a nice little acting moment. And Steven Spielberg probably spent an hour with him and Robert Zemeckis the first time I met him. We were talking football, and they just said, "Look, we've seen this commercial that you've done, and we think you're awesome in it, and we think you're perfect for the role in Back to the Future." And when I got the script and read the script they had them all numbered, and it was like a big top secret thing. I read the script and thought, oh my God, whoever gets this role, this is going to be a star-making role, because it read, the script read like that too. Some scripts don't read particularly well. This one did, and it ended up making, a fantastic film. And Michael, who I've met on a number of occasions, did an excellent job. Was great in that role.
Yeah, I mean, considering the pressure he was on and the fact that he was doing Family Ties at the same time, and he didn't have any sleep at all. I mean, it's just amazing how he was, touched by lightning in a bottle in that movie.
Yeah, he was. He was exhausted. I understand. I've read a bunch of articles about that too, where Stephen and Robert went to Gary Goldberg, who was the producer of Family Ties at the time, and just really said, please, please, please let us have Michael for this film. And he was working double duty. It was crazy, because he would have been working nights on Back to the Future for the most part, and all the, everything that he was doing with Family Ties. And I think they lessened his workload slightly, but not much. And it was a good choice on his part to do that, because that really catapulted him into a whole other level of actor, of respect and stardom.
Absolutely. So with Once Bitten, I found some website dedicated to this movie, and in one section of it, it said that the two writers had written the script in a period of like 5 years, and it was originally going to be a commentary on how dangerous the nightlife in LA was, and Mark was originally a young adult, but Sam Goldwyn Jr. saw it as a teen sex comedy, so it drastically changed.
Oh, that's wild. Well, I know that the two original writers who I didn't meet, but not too long ago, I actually connected on Facebook with one of the writers. He and I connected, and I remembered his name, and I was like, oh, that's one of the guys that wrote Once Bitten. And so we connected on Facebook. But they had one of the associate producers. He was an older gentleman, and I can't remember his name now. It's been so long ago. But he actually rewrote the script.
Mm-hmm.
He took the original script that the two guys had written, and he rewrote it and added in all the comedy. And Howard Storm, who was the director,
Mm-hmm.
who had directed all the Mork and Mindy's, and and really had gotten a hold of Robin. And I don't know who came first. I don't know whether Howard came first, and then Sam Goldwyn Jr. actually asked them to hire Jim, because Jim was unknown at the time. He had just done a failed TV series called The Duck Factory.
Right.
And so he was really, he was early on in his career and had not done anything, but you knew the minute you met him and were around him for a few minutes, at least I did. I was like, oh my God, this guy's going to be a huge star, because he was so funny. He reminded me of his, his wit and his humor in a different way, the physicalness that Jim brings to it, but he was just nonstop on the set, and funny. And what a super good guy Jim was.
Yeah, he was a star at the Comedy Store, and he was doing all these like celebrity impressions and faces and stuff at that time.
Yeah, he had been that stand-up, and that's what he was known for, was his impressions, and he was trying to get away from that. So getting this, and then he did, what was it, Peggy Sue Got Married right after he did Once Bitten.
Right.
And I used to hang out with Jim and all of those comedians at the time as a budding actor up at the Comedy Store, and I watched Jim go through a huge transition because he stopped doing the vast majority of his impressions, and he wanted to be known as a comic. And so he was just getting up on stage and taking and bombing left, right, and center in the evenings at the Comedy Store, trying to find his voice again. Because I guess Mitzi, who was the owner of the Comedy Store, really was a huge fan of his, and all the other comics were very supportive of Jim, trying to stretch himself. And ironically enough, he went through a period where he didn't work for a while, and then it wasn't until he started doing In Living Color and was doing all those, kind of SNL type sketches as these characters that really relaunched his career and got him going back in the movie business. Mm-hmm. And what he tried to get away from, he ended up having to come back to, because that was his strength. And he was hilarious when he would do it on set, especially.
Yeah, I've interviewed a lot of comedians. I've interviewed a lot of comedians that were at the Comedy Store during that time, and they all tell me that they thought he was hilarious, but they got bored of his impressions after a while, and they wanted him to, do other stuff, but then they were glad that he did later on,
Yeah. They were all feeling the same way. They were very supportive of him. I remember with Jim talking to Robin Williams and to Sam Kinison and that whole group of guys. Andrew Dice Clay was there on a regular basis.
Yep.
Jerry Seinfeld would show up. And not that I just met those guys backstage, but that was all really big time in stand-up, when stand-up was really just gearing up in the early to mid '80s, and it became what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was reading too on the website that Deborah Foreman from Valley Girl was originally lined up to play Robin, but the reason why Karen Copen's got it because of her delivery of that line. Mark doesn't want you because you're evil. He wants me because I'm sweet and innocent and pure, so fuck off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's funny because, I didn't hear about that other gal being right down to the wire, because they had brought us all in as a group and were kind of pairing us up at the time. But I was just focused on what was going on within the guys at the time. But Karen was such a sweetheart, and her desire was the whole comedy thing was new for her, because she was a more of a serious actress.
Yeah.
And so doing the comedy, and you kind of see that she was just a gorgeous person inside and out, and just wonderful to be around. But that was a big deal for her to do that line. But she had a good sense of humor.
Yeah, she was really funny delivering that line.
Yeah.
You and Thomas Bellator have great chemistry, like a comedy team in that movie.
Well, we hung out. Tom and I hung out on and off screen for a while. We became friends, and Tom was a stand-up too,
Mm-hmm.
and he would do a lot of comedy. And but we stayed friends for a number of years after that, and stayed in contact. And we actually did have a pretty good chemistry, and we were playful with each other. And I think that character that Tom played was very much like him. And that actually was the character that I was originally up for, and Tom beat me out for that role. And then I got cast in the Russ role,
Mm-hmm.
which actually is a little bit more of my personality anyway. I was playing the role that Tom ended up getting, of the little bit of a nervous, shy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time doing that. That was a lot of fun. It was a fun experience.
I wonder what he's doing now.
I think Tom still is doing stand-up. I think he tours and does stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I gotta check it out, see if he is. That would be cool to see him now and stuff. You're famous, pickup line run through. I'm a mature person and you're a mature person, so let's skip all the bullshit. I just love that, because that's like the only thing he uses, and it never works.
Exactly. And the one time it does, he gets scared from that film. Yeah, that was a line that surprisingly really landed with a lot of people. A lot of people that I've met over the years remember that little line, and have repeated it to me. And I love it when you said that. It was like, wow, that's crazy, because it was so long ago. But that movie really stuck with a lot of people. It was a little bit of a cult classic. A lot of people in the at that time in the 80s really enjoyed that film, and because Jim was in it, it became a little bit of a cult classic when people were finding him and then going back and seeing that film.
Yeah, I actually reached out to that girl in the laundromat for an interview, Dee Dee Reicher, and she was interested in doing the interview at first, and then at that time I was doing half on camera and half audio only for the interview part of the podcast, and I don't know, I guess she thought I was a nerd or something. She didn't want to give me the time of day, so she changed her mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It happens though.
She was only on the set for that half that day that we filmed that little series, but yeah, that was a fun little thing to film in that laundromat scene that we did, where we stuck Tom in the dryer.
Yeah.
And rolled him around, the whole thing. It was cute.
Yeah.
We filmed that over in Culver City.
Mm-hmm.
The laundromat in Culver City, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Was it awkward to shoot the shower scene?
Right. So I'm naked in that scene, and I'll tell you a funny story, which is, so how old was I when I was doing that? I think I was about 23,
Mm-hmm.
and so I didn't mind being, you play high school sports and everything. You're naked in front of other guys, but when you're naked in front of a set, when you're filming a regular film, you're in front of about 60 or 70 people, and you've been working with them, so they all know you. And
Mm-hmm.
so we had talked with the director, all three of us, Jim, Tom, and I, were talking to the director, and said, well, we're not actually going to be naked, are we? And he was like, well, of course you are. And we were like, no, we're not going to be naked. And he said, okay, I'll get you guys these things that you wear, to cover your private parts, and it's this sock that has, some elastic in it, and we'll get those. So it was the day of the shoot that we were going to shoot that scene, and, they lay out your wardrobe in your trailer, and there was nothing in there except a towel.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, to the costume gal, we were like, hey, where's the little thing that we're supposed to be wearing over our private parts? And she said, what are you talking about? We said, well, Howard told us we were going to have something that was going to cover our penises. And she said, what? No. Oh, come on. Grow up. You're men. You're just going to be on set. You'll forget about it in 3 minutes. Don't worry about it. We've done this before with other actors. You'll get over it. And we went to Howard, and all three of us did and went, Howard, what happened with the things? Because, this is our first film, and we were nervous. And he was like, oh, come on, guys. I lied. And so we were like, okay. So, we're in front of men and women and, and doing it. And they were right. In about less than 5 minutes of being on the set, you were like naked. It's like, okay, who cares? Men, women, didn't really make any difference. And they were, Adam, who was the cinematographer, had done a lot of other films, so he put that bar strategically, with the hot water right in the middle of our bodies, and you couldn't see anything. Yeah, you did get to see my butt as I get down and do that, but I'll tell you, here's something that happened, which is during one of the breaks when we were resetting up one of the shots, Sam Goldwyn Jr. came onto the set, and we were standing there, and I can't remember whether we had towels on or we were naked, and he came over and said hi to us, and Jim just reached across, grabbed Sam's hand, pulled him near him, and his towel fell off, and he took his hips and spun them left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right, and his penis was smacking the side of his right to left, and not Sam, but Jim, and it was making this sound, and he wouldn't let go of Sam's hand, and the entire crew burst out laughing because he was like, "Hi, Sam!" Blah, 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 blah. And I'll never forget it. We laughed hysterically because it was so. Sam was laughing, but he was really embarrassed, and it was funny. And after that, forget it. We were, the whole night. I can't remember, there was a night shoot or a day shoot, but we were just, you forget about it. So it was a little embarrassing at first, but, that goes away pretty quickly.
Man, nowadays you can turn down to do a nude scene.
Well, I guess we could have, but, it didn't even enter my mind of saying no. And because, it just wasn't there. That wasn't an option.
I saw Lauren Hutton in a movie recently. She looks exactly like she did in 1985, like she hasn't aged.
Well, I haven't seen Lauren. I ran into her a number of times in New York over the years after that, and oh my God, she was so unbelievably sexy, and that was kind of right at the height of her fame and her modeling career, and after she'd done a couple of other films, and she really had a good time doing that film too, and she was a force to be reckoned with for sure.
It was also one of Megan Mullally's first movies.
Yeah, you know what? I remember her from the shoot and thinking that she was really funny, and then she's got that little part in it where she plays one of Karen's friends.
Yeah.
One of Karen Copen's friends in the film, yeah.
Yeah, and Jamie and
I didn't realize that. I was like, oh my God, that was Megan, right.
Yeah. And Jamie and Russ end up with those two vampire girls. One of them has a twin sister and was in Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Was it the redhead or the brunette? I can't believe I even remember that. But
redhead. She's like English.
English-speaking gal.
Yeah, she's English. Yeah, redhead.
Right.
So then after you did.
Remember that? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And then after Once Bitten, you did Mindbenders.
that was an interesting experience. I was up in one of my writing partner. I was doing a lot of screenwriting at the time, and they were all pretty poor films, but it was just something to keep me busy between, acting and theater jobs. And got a call from my writing partner who had been asked to direct a film up in Montreal, Canada. Mm-hmm. And she called me up and said, "Hey, I've got this script. Can we rework it?" So I read it, and it was formatted to where instead of being, say, like a 90 or 100-page script, it was really about 65 pages once we specifically formatted it, and it was just a mess. So we rewrote that script in about 10 days, and when we got it, and we had cast it in New York and in Montreal, and so the gal, Jeannie Joseph, who directed it, was my writing partner, and then, I ended up acting in that one too and helping on the back end. So that was kind of a labor of love, a small film that aired on USA Cable with Gilbert Gottfried up all night. He made fun of the film, and it was an experience. I really enjoyed having the opportunity of doing that, and eventually I ended up going to film school, and because I was so struck with the concept of being able to actually direct, produce, shoot, and ended up doing that for a number of years after I kind of got out from in front of the camera and got behind the camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to ask, like, how on earth did you go from acting in these cult movies to hosting a kids' game show?
Well, because of my background in the circus, having been a clown, and I had done a ton of commercial work, it was just an audition that came up. And Nickelodeon was in New York, and it was actually probably about 10 blocks from where I lived, their New York studio. And it was an audition, and I ended up just going in and getting, they really liked me, and they had me be a guest host on one of the shows that they were filming in New York. And then when one of the opportunities came up for that show, Think Fast, they brought me in and had me do some testing. Mm-hmm. And I went down to Universal Studios Florida and then got that job. We filmed a bunch of shows, and then I helped open Nick Studios, went out on the road live and did a kind of a touring show in malls around the country where, they'd have 5,000 kids show up to see a live game show in a mall, mm-hmm. and it would just be packed and mobbed. I did that for about 6 months on weekends. And so, yeah, it was, I loved that job, actually, and I loved working for Nickelodeon. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember I was about 6, it was on, and I used to see it along with Double Dare and Finders Keepers. Why would you say that the show got canceled, though?
So Double Dare ended up being on for a long time, and I knew Mark Summers, who did Double Dare, who was a great guy. Mm-hmm. And I think that what they were trying to do was they were trying to shift the energy level. They were trying to do something with the show that I did, Think Fast. They were trying to make it to where it was a learning experience that was fun, and they just amped me up. They kept saying, "Hey, we need more energy from you, more energy, more energy." And in hindsight, I always thought it was too big. But they kept saying, "Hey, take it over the top. We want it over the top because this is for primarily Double Dare was for the kids in say 10 to 14 range, and we want your show to be more educational with the fun, but we want it to be for the little kids, so it has to be a little bit more over the top." And I think that when they opened up Nick Studios, they had me film the part when you used to go through the studio tour, and I was on a lot of that and was one of the key hosts at the time for Nickelodeon, and they just went in a little bit of a different direction. They ended up going a little bit more laid back, And, you know, I had been, at that time, I was touring with a show, and it had my son, my oldest boy who was born premature, so I was up in Canada for about 6 months, while he was in the hospital, until he got well enough to travel back to the United States. His mother was in a show, and she came early. So there was a period of time that I was not available. And during that time, they just moved on. So, which happens.
And of course, later on, Nickelodeon became more successful. They did the merger with Paramount and MTV.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah. No, that was huge. And then they kind of reworked it, and they had the Gas Network, and they were doing movies, and they did less game show type things, and more, kind of regular, like more teenagey kind of comedy,
right?
Romantic comedy stuff. And I just read something recently that they're going to do. What was it? The show that Kenan Thompson came from. All that was that what it was called?
Oh, Kenan and Kel, yeah.
Sketch comedy show that Brian Robbins, who was on Saved by the Bell, who's a director producer,
head of the class.
He's what was it called?
Head of the Class.
Head of the Class, yeah. So he was on that show, and he now runs Nickelodeon. He's now either president or the CEO of Nickelodeon, and they're going to bring back that show with Kenan Thompson. That Kenan Thompson, cut his teeth on, which was a sketch comedy show for kids. And gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but they just announced this last week, and Kenan was going to be the executive. Who was going to be the producer of it, the executive producer.
Wow, I did not.
So that's the thing that they just announced. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I hope it goes well. That'd be good.
Yeah.
So after Think Fast ends, I mean, is that when you go to film school?
Yeah, I had a tour at that time. I owned a restaurant in the hometown that I grew up in, and my son was born premature. And then when he got out, we got back out on the road, and his mother and I were touring with him on the road. And then when I finished that up, I went back to New York, did a few things, and then took a couple years off and moved out to Vancouver, Canada, and went to film school, the Vancouver International Film School, and then directed a film that I wrote and starred in right at the tail end of that. And ended up then moving back to New York instead of Los Angeles. I probably should have gone to LA, but I went back to New York and then got a job as a TV producer running a studio where we were doing this specialized camera technology for all the networks. We had 17 patents, and it was called the K-Wazinga system. And we did ESPN, we did the Summer and Winter X Games, and it was camera technology that we would take camera viewpoints, and we would take the flow field data from the digital processing that was in the back, and we could make virtual camera positions in between any two cameras that were pointed at the same thing, and it had all these patents on it. So all of the networks were really hot on it. So we did things for Nike, and we did something for Monday Night Football. We did NBC. We did a bunch of golf tournaments for them. We did the Hockey All-Star Game. And it was the thing that CBS kind of still uses, where they really quickly pan around when they freeze a moment. But what we did was, that actually is in violation of the patent that we helped develop for this technology. So I became for 4 years, I kind of buried my head in that, became an expert in vision technologies, and was working with Sun Microsystems, and we were, going to all of these conferences and things, and we thought we were going to be nominated for an Emmy, technical Emmy. So I got really involved in the technical side of things. for a number of years. Yeah.
Wow. And then what made you?
Yeah, that was a hell of a learning.
Yeah, I bet. What made you then decide you were going to change professions?
Well, I got to the point after 9/11 happened, right? Everything just kind of shut down. Um, Money had dried up during the dot-com boom because we were there looking at how we were going to take this out on the internet, what we were going to do with it, and everything was just kind of up in the air work-wise. And during my whole adult career, I was really involved in personal growth and different type personal growth seminars. So I had been going back and forth to England with a friend of mine who had this seminar called The Journey that she had developed over in Europe. And I was putting my fiance at the time, she became my wife, through the series of courses to become a practitioner in this healing modality.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a self-healing modality from anxiety and fear and all kinds of different physical issues that people would have. It was a way of working with your emotions to be able to release old stored cell memories.
Mm-hmm.
And after I did that, I put it out that I was going to teach a workshop on this, and there was such a request for it. I ended up over the next 10 years leaving the business and started this business, sharing this seminar called The Journey in North America, and either produced or actually put on over 1,000 seminars in about a 10-year period. You're calling me right now. I'm up in Canada. I just gave one of those workshops in St. John, New Brunswick this last weekend, and I'm doing an advanced level workshop this coming weekend. So I'm staying up here in Canada doing that as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing that on and off now for about 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you like what you like what you're doing, right?
I love what I'm doing. And the truth is, I love performing, not because I think I needed the laughter and all those things. I just love being connected and being able to be fully myself and share my energy and my life force and my creativity. That's what I really enjoyed about acting, filmmaking, performing on stage, doing musicals, singing, dancing, all that. And that's kind of what I'm helping other people do, is people that have a low sense of self-esteem and feel less than, be able to clear some of those blocks that can hold people back from being able to be their best self. And the work that I get to do is very fulfilling, and I'm in front of a group of people and sharing and teaching rather than just entertaining. And through it, there's an entertainment aspect too. I get to, obviously bring out my sense of humor, which is a big part of my life, and watch people grow and shift and change and help themselves heal some of the past pain that they've dealt with that's kept them stuck or in a box or feeling less than. So it's a real gift to be able to do what I do now. And I do that with personal growth work. I also have a leadership academy that I started called the Practice Leadership Academy, and helping business owners and leaders in corporate and small business just be the best kind of leader that they can be and build their business out. So as a leadership and business coach, that's where my focus has gone over the last, now, really, 18, 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I kind of left the business after I was working as that producer, and still do things. I just finished a script that I've been working on for a number of years. It's a serious topic about the Holocaust with that writer who I did Mindbenders with, Gene Joseph. We just finished a script not too long ago, and we're shopping it around. It's just something that's a passion for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real story of forgiveness and redemption. And so I just took my passion of performing and putting it into helping people in a different way.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I've been going through a self-transformation thing last few years too. I had a car accident 4 years ago, and I spent 30 days in a coma.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I was pretty bad with alcoholism for a couple of years, and
after that, after you came out, where there was suffering from some depression and
Yeah, I mean,
kind of things? Yeah.
it's still kind of there, but it's going away and stuff. And I've been just pursuing my dream. I started this podcast, and I've been only doing it 2 years, but I'm getting close. By next week, I'll have probably 400 episodes under my belt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So you've got a list of names that you've been tracking down and getting people to do it. Good for you, Tommy. You're, as I said, your tenacity and your persistence of putting this together were epic. Just staying on top of me, because I've been really busy recently with a lot of work, and this was on my radar, but I had so much that was going on, it was hard for me to pin down in time to do it. So you stayed on top of it for a long time, and I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of hard work doing this and getting people to come on and stuff, but I've carried it through and stuff. And I've been doing stand-up comedy 13 years, and I've done acting and stuff. And I'm planning on finally moving to LA this year. I've been trying to do that since I got out of high school 18 years ago, but it's going to happen this year.
Well, that's awesome. I think it's important for all of us to follow our dreams to the nth degree, and regardless of what happens, because a lot of it is luck, in the business, and being at the right place at the right time. And I've watched people who were much more talented than me at the time that weren't working, who could outact me, like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So it really, really is about being at the right place at the right time. So just go out there, do what you're passionate about, and give it a shot. Because if you don't, you'll regret it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I already have regrets from the past that I can't change, but that's why I'm moving forward.
Yeah.
I was curious, with all these seminars you do and stuff, is there ever that one rare person who like remembers you from something you did?
It's funny. I don't. I mean, when people hear what I've done, they don't necessarily, because it was so long ago, they don't recognize me, and they more than likely don't remember my name. But I get contacted on my Facebook page of people who remember, or will ask me, "Hey, were you the Skip Lackey that was on Nickelodeon?" Or that they watched me when they were a kid, and they remembered my name, and it comes across them, or they're just a real fan of Once Bitten or one of the other things that I did that were like a cult fan of it. So yes, but not so much when I'm up doing the gigs that I do now. Yeah, people don't really remember it.
Yeah.
It's not the same age range of folks that would come to my seminars that would remember me doing Nickelodeon or Once Bitten. But people remember the movie and some of the other stuff. So that was fun. That's always fun to go, yep, that was another lifetime ago. And, I was really passionate about it. I hope to go back to it at some point. Right now I'm so busy doing the work I'm doing and helping others and doing my coaching and leadership work. Doesn't allow me to spend a lot of time on the coast, which you have to be if you really want to, you want to stay busy in the arts.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing too. I mean, the older generations, they forget about certain people when they were known, and then there's the younger generation that doesn't know who they are at all, right? But they have the advantage of going on the internet and finding out, but the attention span of this country is so short and so weird now. They don't do that.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Skip, I'm glad that you're doing what you love and that you're still in the game, but you do it when you can. That's great.
Yeah, we do it because I'm passionate about it, and I love my 25-year career in the business. I just really enjoyed it, and might go back to it at some point. But right now, I'm so busy with my kids and living my life and helping other people live their best life. And should be as successful as they could possibly be. It's a real gift to be able to do what I do and have the background that I have, because really a lot of what I do by getting up in front of people and sharing has a lot to do with all the years of my in front of the camera and behind the camera, my production background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Skip, you've left behind some interesting work that will continue to entertain me, and I just thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Tommy. Thank you for taking the time to reach out to me and ask me to do this. It's been fun to kind of walk down memory lane for that, because it's been a while.
Yeah, my pleasure,
Yeah.
and I hope you have a great day today.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Skip Lackey. Ain't he a cool dude? Thank you so much, Skip. Another inspiring story. I've been so lucky. I've gotten so many inspiring stories on this podcast, and I really appreciate you coming on finally, and we get to talk about it. And I know you will continue to be successful in what you do, and I hope we meet again down the line. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes!